And welcome, family. Welcome. Give yourselves a hand. This
Yes,
is the
yes,
family
yes, yes,
tree.
yes.
Welcome, everyone.
This is for
Hope
the
everyone is
people.
doing well, and that we are moving forward in the world going backwards sometimes. Don't it seem like it,
Well,
y'all?
what can I
Seems like
tell you?
every time we get on, it seems like something else is going on in this world, and it goes a little bit crazier than last week. So I want to say definitely welcome through. This is the family tree. If this is your first time joining us, we have a session where we just go into holistic health. We're going to talk about holistic health today, but all the things that you may not hear on mainstream, but we're talking about things about holistic health, spirit, mind, and body in that order. So we ask that you bring it around the tree, because this is the tree that even in ancient times we got together, and whenever there was a problem, we got together around the tree to talk about the situations and things that are going on. All right. So the rules are there are no rules, and somebody's still going. Can somebody mute themselves? Mute themselves. Somebody mute themselves. Somebody's muting.
There you go, Doc.
Okay, got it. All right.
Okay, there we go.
So at some point in time, we want to say, we're going to ask questions. If you have a question, go right on down to your reactions page, and you can put your hand up. And then when you put your hand up, we'll go through questions. And if any concerns, questions, or anything, we'll try to get the answers for you today. But we're
That's
going to
right.
keep it
That's
in
right.
perspective. We're going to go in with decency and order. And Big B, first start us off, man. Tell us
Woo,
about
buddy.
what's going on this COVID, man. What's up
Man,
in the
look,
news?
buddy,
And
we need to be hiding somewhere where this stuff is getting crazy. Wait,
right.
wait, wait. Dr.
Well,
Fig,
first, let
last.
me give my introduction to
Oh,
Big
Steve.
B. Let's give Big B a
Woo,
hand.
woo,
Let's
woo,
give him
woo,
Bill
woo, woo,
Morgan
woo,
a
woo,
hand, my
woo.
co-host
My
with the
host, host.
mostest, my,
My
my,
host,
my,
host.
my host hostess.
Ah,
And we want to say welcome, Big
yeah,
B, and
man.
thank you for all that you do, man. And
Yeah.
tell us what's going on in this world
Look,
right now
man,
with the
real quick,
news.
I'm going to cut all over top of you here. Look, last week, now listen, last week, our total confirmed cases was 133,641,196. Well, as of a minute ago, it was 138,802,571.
Wow.
Total
Wow.
confirmed worldwide. Total critical last week was 100,811. This week, 106,501. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Total deceased last week, 2,897,257. This week, total deceased, 2,984,282.
Mm.
Right? Total active last time was 26,084,650. Now today, 27,373,945. Now,
Mm-hmm.
total recovered. Total recovered. Give me a drum roll, Dr. I know that's what I'll take it anytime. All right, guys. Last time 107,753,171. This week, here we go. 111,571,603. Now
Wow.
that's from our
Wow.
favorite website, guys. That's ncov 2019.live. That's ncov 2019.live. And listen, hope, hope, hope. If you listen to the numbers, there's hope in there, guys. There's a
Yes,
whole lot of
absolutely.
hope in there.
Absolutely. Thank you, Big B.
Yes, sir.
And thank you for
Always.
those numbers. If you are listening for the very first time and you want to know where those numbers come from, that's
There you go.
ncove2019.live.
That's
That's a
right.
website put together by a young brother, well, young man, and about 18 years old, still in high school as a project when there was only about less than 100 people diagnosed with COVID-19. And here it is. He has now had the most important site probably in his. They need to give him an award, B.
They
They need
really
to give
should,
him
you
an
know.
award. He doesn't accept any donations or anything. He doesn't accept anything. He just puts the information out there, and you got CNN and all the major MSNBC and everyone is comparing their numbers to this young man's numbers, and his
Yes,
data
indeed.
information is so accurate. They say it's the most accurate of anything because of the time that he did it. He did it in a time where he got data instruments in there where he could pull numbers that other people couldn't
Yes,
pull.
yes,
Interesting.
yes.
Isn't that interesting how, something very simple like that, a young man, God used a young man like that,
I know that's
not
right, buddy.
knowing that this was coming. and he is now one of the spotlights for what's going on. He can go to any school he want to go to,
Well,
big.
guess what? Let's put
He
it like
want to
this.
go to anywhere he want to go.
Dr. Paul, he didn't know this was coming, but Dad did.
Yes,
Well,
Dad. Dad's doing the hallelujah
yeah,
dance like I
yes, sir.
am.
Yeah, but he knew it was coming. So he said, let me
Yes,
fix this right now so that
that's right.
everybody, look, at least the people around the tree will get
That's
all
right.
that.
There you
Keep,
go. There you go.
keep 'em going, keep them ready and going.
All right. So, hey,
Okay?
now it's time to listen to you. Also, if you have a question, you can also drop it in the chat box. And from the chat box, we'll try to answer the questions, but go into any specific topics today. I have a couple of things I want to throw across the bow, but I want to start first going into questions. So I'm just going to go to the top of my list here of those that are at the top of my list, and I have heal thyself. How about heal
All right,
thyself?
heal
Is that
thyself.
selves with an
Held
S?
that
With an
city.
S? With an S?
Hi, everyone, and
Hi.
thank you, Dr.
Yes.
Paul, for.
Introduce yourself to everyone. Everyone, when
Uh,
you first come on, tell us who your name is, where you're from,
okay,
going, you calling from. All right.
okay. I'm
All right. So.
Leah from Southern Virginia, a little town that's only about 1,000 population in
Okay.
Bracy, Virginia.
Okay.
Okay, all
So
right.
I'm
Welcome.
in deep South, I guess, in Virginia. Thank you
Hmm.
so much, and thank
Yes.
you, Dr. Paul, for all you do, and I for the health information and for the tech information. Sometimes
Yeah.
I
Thank you.
wanted to. It's like I have a couple of statements, and one is I don't. A lot of people don't use Cash App, and all the information that you give, I would like to
Hmm.
be able to donate a tiny donation, but we use
Sure.
Venmo instead, and
Right.
Venmo doesn't ask for your debit cards or for your it just gets your credit card, where Cash App asks for your routing number
Oh,
and your
okay.
checking account and all that. So if you can, please get on Venmo,
Yeah,
VENMO.
I have an account, but let me. I'm going to have that for you, and I'll have that for everyone next week. How about that? All
Okay,
right.
thank you so
All right.
much. And
Sure.
And I'll
Dr.
remind
Paul,
him with my
doc,
big stick. I'll remind him.
Dr.
Yep.
Paul, you also said there's a vitamin D, like in David test. Can you tell us where we can get that from?
A vitamin D test.
hmm You said we can
Hmm.
get it on our own, but we can't. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, I think we were just talking about vitamin D, the different types of vitamin D to get. Not really a testing. If you go to get a vitamin D test, you got to go definitely through blood. That's going to be a blood test, and you got
Okay,
to get
okay,
that done from. You can get that done from your regular practitioner if you have a practitioner. If not,
okay.
there are other ways of getting it also.
Do
Yeah.
you think if I call your office that we can get some chiropractor, like between here and Richmond, Virginia, and maybe um, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, that has the RM3A machine? Do you think if I call your office and get that list, or if you have a couple of people you might know here, professionals?
Actually, you know what? This is the interesting thing. The ARM3A is a technology that comes out of the West Coast.
Oh,
And there's very few to little to no that are actually doing here. I believe the closest to us right now would be probably New York.
okay,
But I don't know, not New York City necessarily, but New York State. And
okay,
then I know that there are some that are in Florida. But
okay,
pretty much, yeah, RM3A is. See, remember, the RM3A is a test that's been around a long time. There's a test that you may see that's very close or similar. It's called Life. I think it's Lifeline or something
Hmm.
like, or Life Skills or something like that. It has 5 risk factors. The RM3A has 8 risk factors, which takes it to a whole nother level. And that's what makes it very, very, very critical for this such time as we're in right now. Because it looks at things like endothelia, which is exactly what's being looked at when it comes to COVID-19. That's the endothelia is the vessels in the arteries
Hmm.
and veins. So that's one thing that it does. And it literally sits on the desk of a lot of doctors and they don't use it because their concept and perception of it is allopathic. They're only going to use it to give you more medication. See, for us on this side, it gives us the numbers so that when I look at it, I'm going to say, well, here's our numbers here. Here's the recommendation for what you do on the natural side, which is exactly what we always look for. So that's where the holistic perspective comes in mind, not like an allopathic perspective. So it's a little different thing. I don't know anyone doing what I'm doing right now. Isn't that
Okay.
interesting?
That's
Um,
that is interesting, but
sort of,
thank
I've
you.
just did the combination of both. Yep.
Thank
Yep.
you. And my last question, or this one, I was kind of confused, was um, the number 10, TEN water. It says it's alkaline, and
Hmm.
that's what I think that I guess it's alkaline. And so the Crystal Geyser water, I got confused with there seem to be two types when I went on the website, their website, and one is CG Rock Sand by Crystal Geyser, and so I got confused as to do you think the 10? My question is, do you think the TEN water alkaline? And it says in small print on the bottle that it's bottled at the source, and so does the Crystal Geyser, but it's not alkaline, is it? Or maybe you know.
Yep. Yep. That's it. See, any water that says spring water bottled at the source, just make sure it does not say anything. Here's the key words. Make sure it does not say. Remember, we don't want anything purified,
Okay,
filtered, reverse osmosis, or distilled. That
okay,
means you've altered the hydrogen. Hydrogen is the greatest source of energy, H2O, right?
right,
Hydrogen. But when you pull either purify, filter, reverse, or distill, you heal that molecule, you pull the charge. So
Mhm.
that's dead water. So now when your body gets that, your body's always trying to balance things out. That's where it's called homeostasis. The homeostasis is that, like when you cut yourself, your body tries to automatically correct itself. So the same thing happens when you drink those water. It turns you and spins you in the state of acidosis. Now the body tries to correct it. So it's now going to start to say, I need alkaline. So where can I get it? Sends me to a crisis. So I'm going to pull it from your bones. I'm going to pull it from your calcium. That's going to be your hip. Most people have it pulling from the hip. That's why the first place people feel that pain, right in the hip. The knees, the joints, the ligaments, that's where the gout is coming from. It's the body attempting to correct itself. So anything in any water that says purified, filtered, reverse osmosis distilled, you gotta be very careful. They know what you're looking for now. So they'll sneak it in on the bottle and you'll think like, wait a minute, is this
Mhm.
actually the real deal or what? Like for example, I'm gonna throw somebody under the bus right now. That 365 water that's right in Whole
Whole
Foods,
Foods, yeah.
right? And I did the testing of it, and I did it. Matter of fact, it's online. You can see me doing the test. And I pulled the water, and when I test the water, it said right on the front, bottle at the source, Springs. And I said, okay, all right. Somebody brought it in. They said, Doc, this is what I drink right here. See, bottle at the source. So when I test the water, though, came up acid. I said, wait a minute, something's going on here. And something's going on here. But as I turned the bottle around,
Well,
slowly I
well,
turned.
here we go.
As I turned the bottle around, in the writing, small writing, it said, bottle at the source, Springs, double filtered. You got it?
Wow.
That's what it
Man,
said, double
wow.
filtered.
All in the
Here's the
fine
thing.
print.
Okay, here's the thing. Common sense says this. Remember, if you still anything, what was it before you had it?
Mm,
Bad water. You
Yes.
got it?
Yes.
So you want
yes.
water found in its purest find, which is deep in the earth, geysers or aquifers. There's a
Hmm.
lot of
Okay.
them out of here. There's pure
Okay.
finds all over the planet. You just have to find one that's usually in mountains, usually so deep, untouched by air. And when they tap them at the source. So when they pull them up, literally when you open it, it is actually the first time it touches air. That's
Exactly.
awesome. That's
Exactly.
exactly what
Exactly.
you want.
Thank
So
you
if
so
10,
much.
so if 10 says that, I can't remember. I did test 10. I just can't remember off the top
That's
what
okay.
the numbers were. But just look for those key words. If you see purified, filter, reverse, distill, that red flag up. See ya. Got it?
Thank you so much, and continued goodness to you and everyone.
All
Thank you
right.
so much. I appreciate you. All
Thank
right.
you.
Take care. All right, who else do we have here? Let's see. We're gonna let some more folks in. And Big B, if there's anyone in the chat, also drop your. If you don't want to sign in or raise your hand. You can also drop a question right in the chat room, and Big B will feel that, and we can
We'll do our
see.
best.
Is Prophetess on here? Is Prophetess on
Yeah,
here?
Prophet is here.
Yes, she is.
Yes,
Yes,
she
she
is.
is.
Right down
You
over
see
the on
that?
my
She
my
did the
voice. She's hiding
she
over in the
did
corner.
she, she did the lean to the side, John,
I
like
know that's right. Listen, Lily is asking, please explain why the city had to change, excuse me, change the water pipes in the streets. Why are some homeowners owners given 1 year maintenance agreements on inside and outside pipes? I don't know.
yeah, you
That
talking
what's that
about
got
a
to do with
political.
y'all?
You gotta, yeah, you gonna have to go to the,
The
Darryl
water
Clark on that
department.
one. Yeah, talk to Darryl Clark, City Congress. You know, maybe I could get Darryl on here one day because
That would
Darryl
that would
Darryl
be
goes
really
on.
nice.
Yeah, Daryl's on my show after my show once a month, once or twice a month. Maybe I could get Daryl on. I don't know. I'm gonna have to reach out to him maybe. But yeah, there's a lot of political things going on. Hey, water. By the time they finish the pipes, the
Yeah,
water doesn't guarantee the water is going to be any good. So
yeah, that's true.
I think they're probably talking about. Are they talking about the what pipes are they saying again? Say that again. What was the
I
question?
guess it's the city, the pipes in the streets in the city.
Right.
The
Are
water
we?
pipes are old, first of
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
all.
old.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Do you
They're
know
old and they're
Philadelphia?
rotting and they're busting. And they're
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if
busting.
anyone ever saw that, Philadelphia's water system is like one of the most complex in the country.
Hmm.
They said if you put together Philadelphia's underwater water system, it's about 3,000 miles long. That's what they've said. I mean, if you've ever I have had the pleasure of actually seeing what it looks like there. It's all brick under there, all brick.
That's crazy.
And it's like one of the oldest water systems on the,
That in New
of
York.
course, because we're the first in the United States. So it
Yeah.
has to be the oldest, right? So a lot of that's going on. Yeah, you got water there. So, we have one of the purest aquifers that comes into Philadelphia, though.
Yes.
Comes right
Yes.
down from the mountains, comes right down up in Germantown, right where, y'all know where East Falls is, right there on
Hmm.
Queen Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
right around there. It comes right in there. Someone told me that's a pure aquifer. It comes right in there, and that's what goes into that reservoir. So there's pure water out here, but it's what you're doing to it. That's the problem.
Man, that's
You know,
everything. That's
just
everything.
like in Flint, Michigan, Lake Huron
Oh
or
man.
Heron is actually one of the purest finds also. That's another pure
Yes.
find.
Hmm.
But yet they'll put chloramines, these things called chloramines, chlorine and ammonia mixtures into the water, alters the water, now makes it acidic, so when it hits the pipe starts to pull out all the sludge. So when you saw them holding those canisters of water, that was sludge that comes out of the pipes because they altered the pH. They don't have a pollutant problem, they have a pH problem going
Yes.
on in
Yes.
Flint. And they said, even Aaron Brockovich came in and said, look, by the time y'all change all of these, these sewer systems, these people, we're going to lose a whole generation of
Hmm.
children
I know that's
and
right.
people because you can't get this stuff done. So what do you need? We need to put a ionizer at the tap. Y'all know what an ionizer is?
Hmm.
Anybody ever heard of an ionizer?
Yeah.
Well, an ionizer is a device that it's an acceptable form of getting good water. An ionizer is like a box that goes right on your faucet. Okay, so if you can't do crystal geyser, and if you have an alternative where you feel like you can do better, you can do better with this thing called an ionizer. But I don't recommend you buying water from places that sell ionized water. If you have one at your tap, that's even better. It's an
Hmm.
investment, but it does work. And that's why Aaron Brockovich said by the time y'all finish these pipe and these sewer systems, we're going to lose a generation. So you need to put one at the tap. But they were like, well, wait a minute. They're not going to get the government to put ionizers at the tap for poor folks. So
Well.
that's the history that goes with that. So ionizer is good. An ionizer takes the water through, cleans it without pulling the hydrogen charge, cleans the water with a filtration process, keeps the charge in the water. And then there's plates in there. There's things called platinum plates. And one plate on one side is positive charge. The other one is negative charge. So when the water hits that line, pulls it to one side, that positive charge is what kind of water? Is that acid or alkaline, by the way, y'all? Not everybody answer at the same time now. Everybody just too
Alkaline.
fast.
Alkaline.
I can't answer
Alkaline.
everybody at the
Alkaline.
same time. So the positive charge is what now? Alkaline or acid?
Alkaline. Alkaline.
Alkaline.
Alkaline.
Yeah.
You
Yes,
sure?
yes.
Yes.
Who says alkaline? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. All right, Flo. I see you the first hand up there. Who riding with Flo on positive charge is alkaline? Who's
Herb's got
riding
his
with
hand
alkaline?
up. Herb's got his hand
Sharon.
up.
We got Patricia. We got Prophetess. We got who else? Who else is riding with it? We got Keith. So
Karen's over there, got
positive
his hand
charge
up.
is alkaline. We got Audrey. Audrey, what you way back there doing there? Kamara. We got Mina. Who else we got back there? We
Norm
got
got his
Norm.
hand up.
We got Norm back there. What's up, Norman? We got Karen. What's up, Karen? I did get your stuff, man. Yeah, I did check it out. We got Keith. So wait a minute. All y'all saying that positive charge is what? Alkaline?
Yes. Yes.
Y'all all wrong.
All
See
jumped in
there.
the hole together, Dr.
See,
B.
see, Bill, just when I think they got it, man.
Said what?
No, remember, negative charge is alkalinity, right? Negative charge is alkalinity. That's the producer. That's the female. That's the generator. That's when you buy batteries. What kind of batteries you buy?
Alkaline batteries.
Alkaline batteries. Right.
Yes.
Little bunny doing that. Yo, that's alkaline. Got
I
it?
think you're trying to confuse us with
Why you
negative
say-
and positive. I'm trying to think
Yeah, that's what
positive
you're
is
trying to
alkaline, not the
See?
negative. You got us.
No, the point that I would say, who said that? Is that Angela said that?
Yeah, I did have another question. If the analyzer,
Okay, one more point before I say that. See, this is where the energy is in the negativity, which is the
Yes.
alkaline, which is the female. Ain't that a mess though? Because you've been told to be positive all your
that's
life.
right. All on
All right.
Right,
So you should
Awesome.
have been saying, somebody said you need to be more positive. Said, no, I need to be
No,
more
I'm
negative.
Negative. There you go.
All right. Okay, let's see. Who do we have here? Who else do we have here? Let's go down the line here, letting some more folks in.
Okay, while you letting people in, there was a question here for older people that wanted to know, should older people be taking progesterone, estrogen, or testosterone? What can we take holistically to replace for hormone?
Good question. Who answered that? That's a good
That's
question.
Diane. Diane asked that question. Yes.
Diane, very good question, Diane. See what balances and generates that? The estrogen, the progesterone, and the testosterone, which is the hormones which balance the body. That's the endocrine system or the endocrine system. So
Right.
that means that's dealing with you remember we talked about the Grand Triangle? Remember the Grand Triangle? Grand Triangle is the master gland. Who's the master sergeant up there? The pineal. Remember? Pineal, pituitary, hypothalamus. So that's what spins the wheel. So now anything that's good for the pineal gland, pituitary, hypothalamus, that would be herbs that actually balance rhythm, balance. That's hormones. And that means that you are the greatest developer of that. So not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease, just food for the soul. So I'm going to give you a couple, right? One was that angelica root. You remember the angelica root? Angelica
Yes.
root. Also, angelica root is also AKA Don Quay. You got it? Also, red raspberry. Okay, red raspberry. That's a woman's herb. Every woman in here should be on red raspberry. Got it? Also, black cohosh. Black cohosh. Okay, black cohosh. Another one would be blessed thistle. Blessed thistle. Give you one more. Balancer for women. And that would be, I would recommend something like an elderberry. Those are all good for women. Got it? That's a good
Got
one
it.
for balancing, for rhythm, to systems, things like that. Yep. And that actually helps you. Now, remember, I do have something to say about the cycles and rhythms. The circadian rhythm we talk about.
Right.
Women more lunar, men solar. Got it? You remember male female principle, right? So women's cycles move more towards 28 and 2/3, very close to the sun, just off like a fraction. men more solar. So when women, understand that you cycle. Even when you stop physically cycling, you never stop cycling. Y'all hear
Yes.
that? You
Yes.
never stop cycling. Never let anybody tell you stop cycling. You just physically may, after a certain time, stop producing the amount of estrogen. That's where the heavy cycles and things start to happen. And then, of course, the sweats and all the other things, those are imbalances. That's
That's it.
because of the imbalance of the body saying, I got to get used to not making this estrogen because we're not making children no more, right? So we got to start to balance out the body not having the use of extra estrogen. So now that's where that balance has to go into rhythm. So even though you're not cycling physically, you are still cycling. Just like men are still cycling. People probably
Amen.
say it's still cycling. Did men cycle? Yes, men
Yes, they
cycle.
do.
Men have cycles just like women. All right. So men, brothers, we do cycle. And we cycle just like women. You know when I said that in our women's class, Big B,
Uh-huh.
all the women said up, you ain't gotta tell us that.
How crazy they are.
You ain't gotta tell us that. We already know. Yep. So really that's where the concept of period comes from. A
Yes.
period means one rotation. It's an astrological term which means one rotation around. That's why it's period is recognized why a woman's period is one cycle around, which is one lunar cycle around. So men got periods too. How about that?
Dr. Paul, we
I don't know
find
if you
guys
got to
out.
break the news to the brothers, but yes, we
That's why
got
you
periods
find
too.
when you find guys
Absolutely.
out bumping and knocking each other around in the
Yes.
basketball court, they kind of get rid of all that extra
Oh
stuff.
yeah. Oh
That's
yeah.
what that's
Oh
all about.
yeah.
All that aggressiveness is coming because of the end of that period.
Come on, get out from the TV. I'm watching the game. No, get out the way. Yep,
All that
absolutely.
crazy stuff. So
Yep.
Dr.
just
Paul,
listen.
I have a comment on what you just said. This is Audrey.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm 63 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and my body is reversing, going the other way.
Okay, what do you
And
mean by that?
while my period was off, and for the past year, it came back, and they said it just came back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, the
Yeah.
devil is a liar. Foolishness.
And I have had it for about the past year, and I'm 63.
Yes, I'm telling y'all. See,
And
this
they
is the
said
thing.
the estrogen decided. I'm also a
Just
breast
decided to
cancer
turn
survivor.
on. Come on, somebody turn off. Somebody turn off. Who's that? Okay, go ahead.
They
Mm-hmm.
said I'm a breast cancer survivor, and I'm 13 years out. But they said that my body just decided all of a sudden
Right.
start making estrogen again, and they
Absolutely.
still haven't figured out why.
Yeah, so that
Wow.
shows like, there's a lot of situations that are happening like that. You remember the Bible said, who was it that had a baby when they were
I am
100
not
years?
having no baby.
Sarah,
Wasn't that
The devil,
Sarah?
devil is a liar.
Rachel, and Hannah.
See, Audrey, I ain't trying to start nothing.
Don't
Who
start
is
nothing.
that? Who is that? Who is that? I'm getting bad feedback there. Okay, yeah, I'm just starting something. I'm
Yeah,
just starting something. But that does mean that you're ready.
yeah.
I just said
I'm gonna stay
the
by
devil is a
myself.
liar.
She said the devil is a lie.
The devil is a liar.
So what it means is that, see, what happens when you have a lot of medications and a lot of things going on. We have this, with so much going on with the industrialization of the foods and also the pharmaceuticals and things, it's throwing the body in so many
Crazy.
different ways
Yes.
that the body's like, look, I don't know what it is. Turn on, I don't know what's going on. It doesn't know what's going on. So that's why I always mention and say, detox is in order every change of seasons. Got it, family? You got to start detoxing more. You got to start flushing. You got to get your water right. Now more than ever, you got to jump on that water and keep it tough. We should all be water connoisseurs because
Yes.
the fact
Yes.
that we have to keep it going because you got so much just living in this northern hemisphere. You remember, shortened your life 10 years just living here. Did you hear that?
I
10,
heard
just
that.
living here in the northern hemisphere shortens your life 10 years. And that's because of the radiation, the traffic, the emissions, all the airplanes and the
Mm-hmm.
pollution and all the other, all of these things. can cause your body to go into a state of toxicity. You know, we just got too much. No places have more cancer than the cities. You got it? So with that, what does your hormones do? They don't know what to do. They're like, well, I'm all over the place. I don't know what's going on. So that's why you got to keep it tight. Got it? So what does it mean? Get you some things like the endocrines. Those are endocrine spinners. They spin that energy, which is the thyroid, which is the thyroid, which is the weight, temperature, pressure. Got it? So that's what the black cohosh does. It's cleaning the liver. Also, burdock root. Let's not forget about the burdock root. Not to diagnose, treat, kill, prevent any disease. It's food for the soul. Burdock root, one of my favorites. All of those are excellent for the body's systems and cycles and rhythms. So, Audrey, I would try something like the the red raspberry, black cohosh. The Don Quay does very well. Don Quay does very well.
Red raspberry all the time. That's a
yeah. Keep that going. Yeah, yeah. So
But Dr. Paul,
and then I will say one thing also. There are some women that don't have cycles at all. And they say, well, what's going on? And it tends to be those that work out a lot. And let me give you a little history. History says that when you start to really detox yourself and you're really someone who's working hard and staying in shape and stuff like that, back in ancient times, they didn't have a period. They didn't have a cycle. They didn't have to flush because of the fact that their bodies naturally, automatically, yes, you automatically flush. And only over times and centuries when things, it goes back to a whole lot of breaking, statutory laws as far as, laws of cycles and rhythms. That's when people started having, women started having those, cycles and rhythms, and then things out of cycle and out of balance things. So yes, there is a lot to say about that. There is a great book called Dr. Africa's book called African Holistic Health that breaks that down. Okay? Because a great book on it, but there's a lot of books out there that you can pick up. Ancient Kemet Civilization, Nile Valley Civilization, good stuff that you can read, okay? Prophetess, you had something to say? Who was that had something to say?
that was me, Dr. Paul, Diane.
Hey,
I just
Diane.
had a question about everything you told me about taking the red raspberry, black cohosh, elderberry, and jelly root, so on. You don't take all of these. You just take maybe one or two.
Right. No, never take all of them. No, this is your toolbox, right? This is where reason why I give you the assortment of herbs, okay, is because you go to places and availability may not be there. Got it? And so you have the alternative, so you try one, or one may not work for you like it works for somebody else. That's why I give you the alternative. So for every situation, really one herb will do you. You got it? One herb will do well for you because it's really those herbs have been around for millions of years. So they have a intelligence of their own. You don't have to mix a lot of stuff. We just need the right stuff, right? Meaning that a lot of people will take a lot of herbs and it'll be overlapping, because the herbs are frequency to go based on what part of your body is matching that herb. For example, dandelion. We know dandelion is good for the what? Woo, is that crickets?
Talk about last week.
Liver.
Liver. It's good for your liver.
Talked about last week.
Liver, right. So how is it good for the liver? Because the same frequency for that dandelion matches your liver.
Yes,
you got it?
Yes.
Matches the frequency of the liver. So when it goes in the body, it knows exactly where to go. So if you have 2 or 3 herbs that are for the liver and doing the same thing, they're going to the same place, guess what? That's going to be too much. That's too much. You got me? You're overlapping. Now the body has to work extra hard to get rid of what I don't need. And then that's when you start getting fatigue. I have a lot of people that are taking so many herbs and things that they're wondering why I feel like I'm taking all these herbs and I'm feeling a little tired. I don't know why I'm so tired. The reason why you're tired is probably because you're overlapping. You got it? It's not a whole lot of stuff. We've been drawn to think that more is better. More is not better. Balance is better. Got it?
Hear that? Balance is
Balanced
better.
man. Balance is better. Got it? The strong man and the strong woman is the balanced man and the balanced woman. You got it? That's the key. All right?
Got it. Thank you.
All right. All right. Who else we got here? Big B, anybody in the chat room have anything to say?
Yeah, there was one question up here. Hold on, let me go back here, Dr. Paul.
All right, I'm going
There was
over
a
here.
question about hypothyroidism and why. What will you suggest about that? That was
Exactly what we just finished talking about.
Yes, sir.
Hypothyroidism.
Yes.
Right back to the endocrine system again. Got it?
Okay,
That's the
all
spinning of that wheel. You remember that thing, serpentine fire, Earth,
Yes.
Wind, and Fire talked about? The Kundalini. You know, that's what it's all about. That's the energy that's flowing through the body. Hypothyroidism
Right.
is affecting more women than anything right now. And I believe, and this is what I see on that come through my office, a lot of that has to do with the stress factors that are happening from the adrenal glands that are firing off on top of your kidneys. Wow.
Wow.
That means you stressing out. You're worried. Your anxiety. You know, things that are going on. You gotta, let go. You gotta learn to put yourself back into a state of the female principle, which what is relaxation. Got it? A lot of people are so stressed out right now, they don't know what to do. So that's why we got to go back to the female. You got to start to pamper yourself again. Get that Himalayan salt bath, make a spa right in the house. That's what I say. Get the heating pad. Throw the heating pad on you. Lay flat on the floor. Turn your music on. What's y'all favorite music? Y'all know my favorite music. Samba. So get your jazz, get your gospel music, whatever you love to do. Get yourself in that zone and stay there as much as you can. That's going to relieve a lot of stress from you. Got it? And then that's where if you have hyper too fast, hypo too slow, start to resonate to bring that back by things like sea vegetables. Got it?
Right.
That's why when you see anything that's dealing with correcting issues with too fast, too slow, has everything to do with sea vegetables.
Okay.
Kelp, chlorella, spirulina, sea moss, purple dulse seaweed. That's one of my favorites right there. Purple dulse. Okay, purple dulse seaweeds. You also have things like nori, bladderwrack. These are all sea vegetables that have what's called medium chain triglycerides to long chain triglycerides, which means it pulls like a dragnet and pulls all this sludge out of your body, detoxes. But also it gives you the trace minerals to fire off to allow the thyroid to start to resonate again. Okay, that's what happens. I'm going to tell you that a lot of the sugar has a lot to do with this, y'all. You got to watch the sugar. Sugar is shutting it all down. So you got to watch the refined white sugar. White salt.
That sugar is killing us, Dr. Paul.
Yes, the sugar is it, man. They know everybody's addicted to sugar.
Yeah.
Yep.
What about inflammation of the pancreas, Dr. Paul? What can you do about inflammation of the pancreas?
Inflammation of the pancreas. We did a whole show on the pancreas. You remember that? One that I recommend. Remember, we go back to things like sea buckthorn. Remember sea buckthorn? Yeah, that's a good one. Sea buckthorn. I always say we got to not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease, just food for the soul. But sea buckthorn is very good for the pancreas. But also, those blood cleansers also. Go back to the blood cleansers. You got to clean the blood. You got to get the fatty acids, the omega 3, 6, 9. You got it? Also 5, 7. Those are the sea buckthorn is one of the best things you can do for that. Okay, which is a berry that comes from the mountainous ranges of places like the mountains of like Turkey and all the way up there. So good stuff. All right,
Dr. Paul, I'm sorry. Before you go on, you gave us herbs that balance the woman. You didn't give anything for the man.
Yep. All right, let's see.
Just let them go.
I gotta be
sure.
sure.
Let them go.
Yeah. People are inboxing me. They're not asking you. They're inboxing me.
Okay, all right. Nobody asked. The men didn't ask, All right, so for men, the balance of men.
Got me in trouble last week. Our brothers don't never ask no questions.
They don't ever ask any questions. They didn't ask.
And the
women always gotta ask for the brothers.
And it is the women who are asking for the brother.
Yes,
Right,
yes,
that's right.
yes.
Women, y'all always gotta,
Hey,
gotta drag the brothers by the ankles in,
hey,
It's
man.
them
Steph,
wives that want their
mix
husbands
it
to
up.
live.
Absolutely. Okay, here we go. Here's what I recommend for the men. Okay, the men definitely we want the male reproductive system to be in balance because number one thing that's affecting men more than anything is that prostate. So there's
Yeah.
three herbs that I say that men always have to keep in their reservoir in their repertoire, and that is one is alum, alum. It's called wild alum. hmm The other one is shepherd's purse. Shepherd's purse and witch hazel. Those are your three right there. Now, why would I say those three herbs? Because they deal with the health of the prostate. A lot of men are having prostate issues because of a lot of what they're eating. You know, sugary diets. You know, a lot of meats. And number one thing I think is constipation. You got it, constipation. So when we start to see men have problems, it starts with the incontinence. That's the incontinence with men. And that's usually the first sign, of a weak prostate, incontinence. So those three herbs actually draw in. They're astringent herbs. They help to strengthen the prostate back in order. But that's the whole male reproductive system, including it's tighten up the belly, all right? So it deals with the core, any of the core activity, but it also is dealing with prostate issues, all right? So those are the three that I recommend. Now, I would also say there's a few other ones that help with men, giving them strength and balance with the testosterone. Okay, because we got to get the testosterone. I gave y'all estrogen builders, which was the women's herbs, but the testosterone, there would be one called tribulus. Tribulus. Okay, tribulus. TRIB is in boy, ULUS. Tribulus. Tribulus is an herb that's used for raising and developing and keeping the testosterone level. A lot of men are having testosterone issues. And believe it or not, it goes back to laying off the bread. Literally, you got to lay off the bread. But that's hard for a lot of men because they say, man, that's all I do is break bread, man. I'm breaking bread. Hey, let's go break
Let us
bread.
pray. Mm-hmm.
We love breaking bread. But guess what? Bread, that yeast, lowers testosterone level. You got it? Watch the heavy breads. Got it? Also, if I were to add one more thing, this comfrey, comfrey. Comfrey. Comfrey is a man's herb. That's a man's. We call it the might herb, the herb of might, which means it's filled with a lot of iron, and it's very strong when it comes to male reproductive system, and it's also muscle mass when you want muscles or tight muscles because comfrey tightens skin. Now it does the same thing for women though. I'm gonna say that, okay? Same thing for women, tightens the skin. So if you have loose, you want to tighten that skin up, that's what it does. Comfrey. Excellent also for bone, joint, ligament, connective tissue. If you fracture a bone, if you dislocate a hip or something, break an ankle, break a bone, that helps to mend very quickly. Okay?
Dr. Paul,
Yes.
could I pick that up at Pollock Herbs?
Yep. Everything we talk about, you can pick up at Pollock's. Yep.
Okay.
The loose herbs and also the comfrey, everything we talked about for the men and the women. Yep. Or Wayne Avenue Health Food Store. Either one.
Okay.
All right. All right. That was a good question. That was a good question. Prophet, you got all that? She done wrote all it down before I even
she
said
wrote
it.
all.
Before I even said it, she wrote it down.
Prophet's got happy fingers, boy. I praise
She
God
got-
for her happy
she
fingers. She got it down.
fast. She's fast. You fast, boy. Okay. All right. Let's see who else we have in here. Let me go to the top. Let's go to the top. I got Helen. Helen.
Good evening, Dr. Paul. How
How
you
you
doing,
doing?
Bill?
All right, wonderful.
Great.
Wonderful.
How's everyone doing?
Terrific.
Good, good.
Great. So I have a couple of questions. I just want to let you know, Dr. Paul, do you know, according to research, that when you get in your car in the morning, that you need to crack your window for a few minutes and then put on your AC, because the dashboard and the sofa and the air freshener can
Mm-hmm.
cause benzene and also carcinogen, and it
Mm-hmm.
can affect your white blood cells and cause cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So even like temperatures that's like 60 or higher, you
Mm-hmm.
know, with the high heats, it can melt like plastics and all that type of thing. So
Mm-hmm.
it's very important that, you know, keep your window cracked and then put your air conditioner on. That's
Yeah,
just the
excellent.
FYI.
Yeah. Yeah, no, excellent point, Helen. There are a lot of people that start to remember when you have your car, that's why they tell you to always run your air conditioner once or twice, even in the wintertime. Because what happens is in the refrigeration and in the parts of the components, there's fungus that grows in there.
There you go.
Got it? Fungus grows in there. And then when you crank it up, if you haven't been sitting in it for all winter and you crank on the air condition, guess what? You just blew all of that stuff right
your
into your
face.
Up in your nose.
and that's when people start getting colds in the summertime. You say, "Well, you got a cold in them." Yep, that's where those little particulates go in there. Now, some of that stuff can be very dangerous. It's very dangerous mold. That's where Legionnaires comes from.
Well,
Did y'all know that? You remember
Wow.
Legionnaires, the bacterium from Legionnaire's disease that happened right here in Philadelphia? Remember? That was actually from air conditioners that had built up mold, and when they didn't run them, they cranked them up, and that stuff just blew spores all over, and people were getting sick and dying all over the place.
My.
You're right.
So,
You're right, Doc.
Yeah. Mike, you gotta remember that? You remember
Oh
that?
yeah, absolutely.
So you're spot on, Helen. This is the time of the year that you roll your windows down. Don't crank that AC up right away. You need to crank it up. Turn those flaps down. You got it. Turn the flaps down, and and then even during the winter time, same thing with the heat. You need to
crack your window.
You got to crack those windows, right? Because there's fungus that grows in there. And you know where you can know that you got fungus? You ever had that? You remember I always talk about that scraggly cough. You know that scraggly cough that some people got? They just stay right under there and just never can seem to get rid of it. It's scraggly cough. Yeah, that's the one that seems like it never wants to go away, or somebody's always sneezing or something like that. Guess what? That's probably not bacteria as much as it is fungus. So what do we use for that? That's where we go in, not to diagnose, treat, kill, prevent any disease, just food for the soul. That would be the oregano oil. The oregano oil. I would say get the extra strength. Okay. See, Bill, right on cue.
God bless you, Bill.
Amen. Appreciate that.
What about Lysol spray, Dr. Paul?
What about what now?
Lysol spray to spray your car before you get in it.
Lysol spray.
Yeah, Lysol is Lysol.
It's a
I
poison.
would rather you use some thieves oil.
Yes. Thieves oil, Laverne.
Thieves oil. You remember the thieves oil? Laverne's on mute. But the thieves oil will give you a better, use the things that that are natural.
Yes.
Aerosols and things can cause problems, bronchial problems for people. You got to say to yourself like this: if you wouldn't give it to a baby, you shouldn't give it to you.
I know that's right.
Well. Because what would you do if you spray some Lysol? If you say some Lysol around a baby, what the baby gonna do? Right? Just like a dog would do the same thing. Dog gonna be like, "Hey, get that! Whoa, that's not real." You got me? So try to stay as natural as possible. That's what we try to.
So I have another question. This question is in regards to should we take cold showers for like therapy treatment? And, even with washing your hair, should the water be cold for like a therapy thing? And then the last question is in regards to like getting into the pools or the swimming pools or the whirlpools. And is it okay? Is it safe if it's got chlorine in it?
Ugh. Okay, hold up. I think is that I think did I lose everybody? Everybody still there?
No,
Okay.
we got you.
All right, my internet, I guess something happened there. Okay, so I got most of that. I think you said something. What was the first question? You bleeped out a little bit.
Okay, so the first thing was in regards to taking cold showers.
Okay, let's talk
for
about
therapy.
Okay,
and then also washing your hair
right
in cold water as well.
Okay, I would not mess with anything that's cold unless your body is trying to bring down the temperature. You got it? Remember, your body can't use anything unless it's at the temperature, which is the resting temperature, which is about 98.6. Got it? That's why we say don't drink the cold water if you're in the wintertime. If you're in the hot summer and you got to bring that down, then you bring it down. See, the body has to work to bring it back to where it is at 98.6 before I can even use it. So if you put something on your body that is cold, it can put your body into a shock. And that shock can affect your immune system. So you got to be careful. Some people have a mineral deficiency and they can't balance that temperature thing. That's what the thyroid does. Remember, we just talked about the thyroid. That's weight, temperature, and pressure. Got it? So watch when you do that. Some people can use, a lot of athletes do that. They say, man, go get a cold shower. That's because you've been sweating. Got it? They've been working out heavy. And then they're building up a lot of temperature and they probably got to cool it down. That's why they say hit the showers.
Or a hot sauna if you're in a hot sauna or something.
Right. Same thing operates with the sauna. Remember, some of the saunas are not good for you. The hot cold saunas are not good because they get too hot to the temperature close to boiling blood, which is about 108. Got it? So you got to watch those. Watch those. You can do infrared saunas or far infrared saunas, things like that, because that heats you from the inside out. Got it? They sort of keep you around 104, no higher than 104. But only move the temperature in the body as needed is what I say. Because so many people have, you can reach them to a point where they can reach a hypothermia level where they can't cool down because they don't have enough minerals. They're malnutrition. And that's usually where your thyroid comes in. That's what heats you up, cools you down. Got it?
And then lastly is the swimming pools or like the whirlpools has chlorine in it. Is that effective? I mean,
chlorine and fluoride, those are on my top 10 toxic foods list. And that's where it's in, of course, drinking tap water, but it's also in our pools. They've been using this stuff. It is an endocrine disruptor. It is an endocrine disruptor. They don't want to tell you. All you got to do is just Google, dangers of chlorine and fluoride. Okay, they are chemicals, and definitely they cause, the things on our side. We know that they cause problems with the endocrine system, which is your balancer. Remember, we just talked about the estrogen and the testosterone and progesterone. We just talked about that. So yeah, it throws you off something bad. Okay.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. God bless you now.
Dr. Paul, you covered this, I believe it was last week, excuse me, in regard to comfrey and the fact that it says on the outside for external use only. So what is the best use for the product? How do I ingest it?
You can ingest it any way you want it. You can take it as a tea. Your ancient ancestors took this stuff and just chewed on the bark of the comfrey. And that's actually used to strengthen the body, and it gives you strength and might back in the body. And matter of fact, when they used it, it makes the skin so tight, gives you that rubbery look. Y'all ever see somebody with that rubbery look? With the arms looking nice and tight. Y'all know what you're talking about, right?
Well. Ah,
So
yes.
gives you that tightness, and that the ancient Israelites used to take it because when they went into battle, it tightens the skin so tight it was hard to cut them. Can't
Yes.
cut you, Bill. I
I know
can't
that's right.
cut you. Now I got to cut you, and I can't cut you.
You can't cut me because I'm too quick. Can't take it.
You're too
Dr.
quick
Paul,
now. Yes. So
this is
that's
Mark.
why it creates magnetism, tightens the muscles, allows the muscles to become very tight. Magnetism, polarity charge,
Yes.
bones, joints, ligament. Also, you just steep it as a tea. They just flagged it because they didn't want people to take it ingesting, because they started, moving it off the market. People started taking it, and they didn't have to get a hip operation. They didn't have to get knee operations. They had return from meniscus tears or ACLs faster than
Mm-hmm.
anything. And they
Mm-hmm.
said, we got to get this off the market. So they come up with a study, and it shows that these rats, when they gave the comfrey, their livers failed. But they forgot to tell you that's why you can't have it, because the liver failed in the rat. But you're not a rat, number one. And
Mm-hmm.
number two, they never gave the rat any water. Got it? So of course it was going to fail. They knew it was going to fail. Just enough data so that they can say, now you can't put the comfrey in other products. So you can never do a combination. You can only use it separately. That's why they say never for internal in use. But wait a minute. If you're not using it for internal use, that means I gotta soak with it, right? Okay, if I'm soaking with it,
It's going
then
in.
that's going into your largest organ, which is your
Just skin.
skin, faster than it is going into your mouth. So it makes no sense. You got me?
Dr. Paul,
Mm-hmm.
this is Margaret. Okay. So I got the powder form. So can I put that in my smoothie? Like if I
Sure.
make
Sure.
with my green drink in the morning, because
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I can't make a tea out of it if it's in the powder form, right?
Sure, you can make it in the tea with that form. I mean, it becomes a little gritty, of course, but I mean, some people do it that way. Some people put it over salads. People put it in different ways. They put it in dishes. Comfrey was always used as a very good herb for regenerating bone marrow. In bone marrow, that means it cleans the blood. So if it cleans the blood, it's going to strengthen the bone density. So it's a bone density herb. So if you are someone that's been told that you have low density, or you had a DEXA test or something like that, where you have like DEXA scan, and they said your bone density is kind of light, or there might be a thyroid, or go back to cleaning the blood, and it starts with things like comfrey. Got
So in
it?
the powder form, how much should you use? Like about a teaspoon or half a teaspoon
Well,
or?
that's something that you have to determine yourself. We start off with just a teaspoon.
Okay.
Start
All
off
right.
with a teaspoon, and then
Thank
you
you.
basically just raise it up. You can put it in the green drink. You get so many uses for comfrey. I can tell you there's tons of stories about that. There's a lot of athletes use comfrey. They also do what's called comfrey wraps.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, comfrey wraps. Like for the football players, I have some NFL players, a couple of NBA players and stuff like that. So what we do is when they have for example, football players, you can take the comfrey as a tea, put it in, soak it as a tea. Get you one of those steepers. Everybody know what a steeper is, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
T-ball steeper, all right? T-ball steeper. And then what you would do is put I would say about a palm full, which is about maybe 4 or 5 tablespoons of the herb in about a gallon of water, like a crystal geyser water. And you would steep it somewhere around 15 minutes. Got it? When that tea gets really hot and you steep it for 15 minutes, remember, steeping and boiling. You don't cook tea, right? You steep tea. Got it? So don't steep. So when the water boils, when it comes to a boil, you cut the fire and then you steep the tea. Got it? That's steeping. Got it? All right. Nobody. Some people are like, man, I cooked mine for about 20 minutes.
Oh
They're just
Lord.
sitting there cooking it.
Oh Lord.
They're cooking her. So you steep tea, right? You
Yes.
cut the
Yes.
fire and then steep it. And then when it finally comes to a point where you can handle it, you can pour it in your bath water. You can also grab a white towel, no dyes, right? No dyes. Always a white towel. And you can dip that right into the water and let it get hot enough to it, of course, that you can handle it. Wring it and the football players put it around their necks, and it's what helps them to deal with what's called jam necks. They get jam neck because when they on the front line, a lot of the young players are getting jam necks. Their necks aren't that strong yet. So they get boom as soon as that impact on the front of the line where football players on the linemen, they get jam necks. So that's what we use. But guess what? You can take that same comfrey wrap and put it around your knee.
All right now.
Got it? Around your ankle, around your shoulder. You got it? You can create also you can get a cheesecloth. So you can take that same tea in its form, and you can take the tea, put it in a cheesecloth, put it on your shoulder, and wrap it with an ace band. Pushes it right into that shoulder. Deals with that bursea or the bursitis. You got it? So there's a lot of ways of doing it, y'all. I'm just going, this is old school right here. This is old school. This is grandmom and them back in the day.
Yes.
He said, you better wrap that.
See, everybody else thought it was just being mean. We're trying to keep you healthy, y'all.
We try to keep you healthy, man. You got to learn how to take care of yourself again. You got it?
All we got is us,
Got
y'all. Family.
Yo, nobody should know you better than you.
Yes, amen. So very true.
Nobody knows you better than you. You can make recommendations. That's what you need to tell people.
Yes, yes.
So when somebody tells you, this is what's going on with you, and then this is what I recommend. We're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. No, you know what you should say? You should say, I'll take that under consideration.
There you go. That's right.
Doesn't that sound like you in control again?
Well,
I'll take that under consideration.
That's right.
You got me? Or I'll talk this over with my husband, or I'll talk this over with my wife, and we'll come to a conclusion, and we'll let you know.
Yes.
Doesn't that sound about right?
That's the best answer.
All right.
Best
Communication.
answer.
If it's not communication, if two-way street, if it's not communicating like what we're doing right now, then it is not a fair communication. Got me?
Yes.
It's a dictatorship. Nobody should dictate you to your health. Got me? That's what doctor means. That's where they stole it out of our book. They stole that out of the naturopath book of To Know Thyself, because doctor just means what? Don't y'all know what doctor means? Anybody know what doctor means? Bill, don't say nothing.
I'm not saying a word.
Doctor means? Anybody? Doctor. What is a doctor? What does it mean? Wow, boy, it's like crickets on here, man.
Is it somebody that pushes pills?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right now they are.
Disorders.
Yes. All right. Well,
Witchcraft.
Doctor is the ancient word that which really simply means to teach.
Yes.
That's it. That's what doctor means. It means to teach. Then if you don't have a doctor that's teaching you, same way we're doing this right now. This is why the family tree, you hang out around the tree, you talk about what's going on. We're doctoring each other.
Yes.
You got it?
Yes.
Each other. You got it? That's the way you learn. That's why social media moves so fast, because people are doctoring each other. You got me? They're doctoring each other, giving them information. Girl, what? Wait a minute.
Yes.
I'm gonna post this. You go. You got me? So that's what this is all about. So when someone is saying that you can only do this my way or it's the highway, when you just say deuces, I'm out. I'm not doing it that way. If there's no communication, you have to have an input to that. We had this thing called part of a research project. I'm published. So I'm published in the Gerontologist magazine. We had a program right in Center in the Park that we won an award-winning program for holistic health. It was right in Germantown. And we had this program called the Fulani African American Men's Health Program. Y'all see them on my bottle? You see the 3 men on there, or the 3 women, or the 3 bodies. It's actually supposed to be just people, right? So that was designed with the program. And we said, you know what? We got to get rid of the disparities between doctors and their patients. You got to create the mentality where you can talk to each other. And we said, well, when we took the survey, we found out that people said, well, yeah, I'm kind of scared of my doctor. I just do what he tells me to do or she tells me to
So very
do.
true. Yes.
You know, and they're really scared to communicate. So we had to come up with all of these concepts of what do you do when you go to a doctor's? How do you approach it? And you know what to do when you're prepared, you know, so that you don't go in and you're intimidated because this is about you. Got it? This is about you, and you have the most say. You are the president of the corporation, but yet you somebody else is running it. You got me? So we had this thing called dining with the docs. We had this thing called dining with the docs. So we took the men, and we took about 20, 30 men, and we said, we want you to write to your doctor and tell them the things that you have a problem with. You know, if and you would like to do this and invite them to dinner. And we call it dining with the docs. So come on out. We'll pay for it. You ain't even got to, you just got to just come on through. Got it? We did it and we gave them 4 months to actually respond. So we sent it out to them, and all of them had the letter. They drew it up, sent it out to their doctors. We had, you know, when the time came, we had to spread out at Center Park. Y'all know what Center Park is in Germantown, right? Big auditorium. We had all the men. They were excited. Yeah, man, my doctor coming. Yeah, we got this. Yeah, everybody's excited about their doctor meeting everybody. Guess who showed up? How many doctors do you think showed up?
Dr. Paul.
Well, I was administering the program, so I couldn't count to what they would bring. I was not counted. But how many of the 30, almost 40 men we had, how many doctors actually showed up to talk about their patients and their disparities?
Goose eggs.
One doctor. One doctor. After 4 months. One doctor. And that was the foot doctor. And he worked there. He worked there.
Wow.
He worked there, and he worked at Center Park. So that's what I'm saying. There's a big disparity. If anyone cares about you, you know it when you sit down with them. Yes. You know, they're asked the line of questioning usually answers. You know, it's not more just like what's happening with your body. What's going on at home? You know, here's your test scores, here's your numbers. How you feeling? I mean, how many doctors ever even asked you, did you go to the bathroom this week? How many times did you go to the bathroom? Are you drinking water? You know, these are questions that you have to have in dialogue. You got me? And if you have questions, have the questions lined up before you get into the office. You know, have them lined up. So when you ask them at the top. Always come prepared. Try to have someone with you all the time. If you don't have someone with you all the time, at least write it down. You know, I mean, as far as write it down, meaning have a, you can actually use your phone now to record.
Yes, you can.
You know, you'd be surprised when, and I always tell folks when they come in for an assessment with me, I say, you know, you can bring a pen. I tell you to what, bring a pen and a pad. Right? Don't I say it? I say it all the time. Bring a pen and a pad. If you want to record it, record it. Because I want you to be here and to that we both are accountable because the communication has to be sound. Got it? Has to be clear. Has to be clear. You got to have a clear understanding. Now I just want everybody. I want everybody, your next allopathic visit that you go to your doctor, I want you to wait just before you about to sit down and you about to get started. Just when he says, okay, let's get started. You say, oh, wait a minute. Wait, let me get my phone. Hold up. And then you pull your phone out, and I want you to sit it right in front and say, all right, we're going to be taping this today. I want you to see what happens.
Drop a load.
I want you to see
Did I say that?
What's the tape recorder for?
What's that for?
Because I'm holding you accountable for me. Yeah. That's what I'm holding you for. You got me? I know you won't mind, Doc. I know you won't mind. Here you go. I'm going to put this right here for you. There you go. Okay, now what we said?
He may walk out the room.
Wow.
But
that's
true, though.
Now, if there's a problem with that, now I got a problem with you. How come you can't sit down and talk to me with the tape rolling?
Yes.
I don't have a representative here because if you go by yourself, you're going to miss it. You can't catch it all. You can't catch it all. That's why when folks come through, I tell them, hey, you can tape it or you can write it, whatever works best for you so that you can capture it. Got it?
There you go.
Because I want you to capture it. I want you to capture. That's communication. Do you think that's communication? That's communication. All right. All right. So that's all I have to say about that. But y'all remind me of the dining with the docs, boy. I'll never forget that. Boy, I ate a lot of food. That was a lot of vegetarian food I took home that day. Woo, we had holistic food. We had catered. Boy, I must have ate for a week, man. The whole week.
That's an amazing thing. You know, it's interesting that when you talk about doctors, Dr. Paul, they say in the term they practice medicine. As opposed to one who has knowledge of, but they're practicing, because I'm not quite sure what it is. Going to your point, maybe one of the reasons why they don't want you to record that conversation.
Absolutely. Well, it's all about accountability. That's what it is. Accountability. You know, they don't, you know, people don't want to spend time with you. They don't want to, because a lot of times they can't answer your questions. That's really what it is. That's really what it comes down to. You know, I can't tell you how many times people sit in front of me, and then after we talk about the holistic perspective, they say, well, why didn't he tell me that? It's not part of their philosophy to tell you that. Their concepts are totally different. Allopathic works different than naturopathy. So that's why, you know, it's a different philosophical understanding. That means their approach to it. That's why the vaccine, the whole concept of the vaccine is a different philosophical understanding and approach to medicine. That's why, you know, you should have if you are a spiritual person, you should have strong religious conviction against that. Because that's something that says, wait a minute, that goes against everything I believe in this thing called the Bible, you know. You know, so that's why you have to, you know, but again, we don't have the people that have that level of understanding in that area that can really help you. So just understand, you have to be your own person right now. You got to read. You got to read, ask questions. Okay. All right. Let me go up here. We got Flo up here. Is that Flo?
I know Flo's in there somewhere. She has.
Yeah,
That's she.
Oh, I can't hear Flo. I thought Flo was there, but I don't see Flo nowhere. Is that
Dr.
Flo?
Paul.
Oh, there you are, Flo. I'm sorry. I didn't see.
How do you feel about the Tommy Copper products?
The who?
They have Tommy Copper.
Tommy Copper? You mean like the which ones? What specific problem? Which one?
With the gloves.
Well, they have like a cami that you can wear that's supposed to give you back support and help.
Oh yeah, you mean the copper? You said copper. You mean the copper wiring and stuff that goes on you, like it's inside of the mesh of the actual clothing line?
I guess it's somehow.
That stuff is excellent. So remember what copper does. Remember, copper does what? Circulation. Remember?
Yeah.
Whenever someone has gray hair, it's because of lack of circulation. It's a lack of copper in the system. Got it?
Okay.
So when you have that in your like, they got the elbow pads with the copper wire, they got the knee pads. Those are good stuff. That stuff works. That really does work. You got to keep them. You got to keep them clean though. You got it? Because remember the brothers and sisters, y'all ever been to like a Doom Day or something, and you know, and you go in there and brothers and sisters got the copper bands and stuff like that. And if you've been wearing it for a long time, guess what? It starts getting a color, gets a little green around the inside. You think they ripped you off. They ain't ripped you off. That's real copper. And that green is coming out of you.
Yes.
That's what that's coming out. That's toxicity coming out of your body. You got it? So copper actually helps the flow of signal through the system. Also, zinc does the same thing. You can take these two zinc, which is good too. We have these zinc, they're actually like zinc stones that you take, and Ross Ben has these. You put them one in each finger, and you match them to each finger. So you match them to each finger, like right here to here, and you hold them, and it actually, you can feel the energy rolling through your body. It's amazing. So they're very good for getting circulation back in the body for anyone who has circulation issues. Okay. All right, Flo?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. All right, who else we got? Is that Kamara?
I saw Kamara earlier.
I
You
saw
still there?
Kamara. There she is.
I had to
All
run
right,
and
there
get,
she is.
had to run and get my ginger tea. Greetings,
Mhm.
everyone.
Good evening.
Always a blessing.
Yes.
Dr. Paul, I don't know if Marcy Francis is able to get on, but on her behalf, I have two questions. One for me, one for her. A painful sty on the eye.
Mhm.
Um, what is there any herbal
Mhm.
preparation that can be applied to the eye lid?
Yeah, hot compress. Hot compress. You want to do a hot compress with that. You know, that's actually bacteria. You got to watch that in that it's infected eye. One of the follicles, hair follicles in that area is infected. Could have been just by many things we do, hand feely, touchy, come
Right.
out and it's now open, and then you touch something and you get bacteria in it. That's usually where styes come from, things like that. So hot compress to bring the swelling down. You just got to make sure it doesn't get any infection any further. We try to make sure you take something like the very light to kind of bring it down. I try to put things like aloe vera, things like that, coconut oil, just to soothe it. But if it gets infected, then you got to take it to the next level. You got to do something like the Dr. Christopher's Eye Bright formula, which is the wash, the eye wash. It might not be a bad idea just to do the eye wash anyway, the eyeglass. So you get an eyeglass and just wash it with just regular, just regular water. Got it? Something like a crystal geyser water. And just wash it and just keep it as clean as possible. But a hot compress is good for that.
Okay. And about Dr. Christopher's, can that reverse the onset of cataracts or just slow it down?
It just pulls it out. Well, you remember what's reverse, which means detox. That's all it's doing. So it's actually pulling the mucus out of the eye. There were people that took the Dr. Christopher's Eye Bright, and their eyes. See, remember what the cataracts are. There's this mucus in the eye. It's this mucus in the eye. So the mucus in the eye is trapped because now, usually, I'm going to tell you, goes back to sugar, y'all. Got the sugar. You got the sugar. And down south they say, you got the sugar.
It's grandma used to say.
Right.
Girl, you got the sugar. That means that the now vaso circulation cuts that circulation down in the eye. Very thin arteries in the eye. And then next thing you know, it can't detox, so it backs up. So now mucus builds up. So that's basically just mucus in the eye. So now when you take the Dr. Christopher's Eye Bright, it has that one thing in there. What's that one thing in there everybody talk about? That cayenne pepper.
Cayenne pepper.
Woo!
Cuts it.
It'll wake you up, that's for sure.
That'll wake you up now. Yes, wake you up now. It'll dilate to open it up and allows all that good stuff like the golden seal, the red raspberry, the bilberry, and also the other things like the what else is in there? Eye Bright, all that good stuff now gets in the eye. Now it can start to correct the eye and start to pull that mucus out. One guy, there was a story about, this is one story I'll share with y'all, how effective this Dr. Christopher was. This one guy had so much, in his eye. He started to do the eye wash, and the next morning, he reacted so well to it because his body needed it probably so bad that when he did that, he woke up and his eyes were shut closed.
Wow.
What?
His
Wow.
eyes
Scary, though.
were shut closed. They were shut closed because he activated so much gunk and it opened up the pores, so it poured out of his eyes so much that he literally couldn't even open his eyes. The gunk was showing there, and it's all just gunk. Just like the sand, like when you say Sandman saw you, it shut both his eyes. So what happens if that happens to you? If that happens to you, you take a warm towel, this wet, warm towel, and it breaks it right down. Got it? And it pulls it right off. Got it? If that ever happens.
They also have a 1-800 number on the Dr. Christopher's bottle, and they're very nice about answering the phone. A real person actually answers the phone.
Wow.
Amen.
Right. Probably related to Dr. Christopher.
Right.
Yes.
Probably his
Check
niece
that
or
interest.
somebody, his niece or his nephew, somebody pick it up. Let me tell you, a lot of those old formulas, they keep it close in the family. They really do. You're gonna find out. I mean, here's one right here. Y'all, I keep this one on me right here. What happened to my? Oh, there I am over there. See that right there?
Nope.
No.
Right there, right there, right there, right there, right there.
What's the matter with this thing?
We only see your background. It fades.
You have
Right.
to get the background down.
Dang,
Bring it closer to
there
you.
it is, right
Yeah,
there.
right
There
there.
it
There
is,
you go,
right
right
there.
there.
There we go.
See that right there?
Nope.
No.
Just
Pull
for
it
a
close
moment.
to you, Dr. Paul. Pull it close to your body.
Is that it? But now
It's
you
not
can't see
fading.
it.
Now we can't see it, but it's not fading into the background.
All right, let me read it to you. This is Georgia Pine Gum
Oh.
Spirits of Turpentine. This
What?
right here, it's called Georgia Pine Gum Spirits of Turpentine. This is from the pine tree.
Wow.
This right here is probably one of the best things you can do for inflammation in your joints, ligaments, connective tissue, anything. You got shoulder pain, go get you some turpentine. Anybody know about turpentine knows that back in the day, that was it. That's what you use when you playing baseball, you playing athletes back in the day, Negro League ball players. This is alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and turpentine. You're going to rub down those muscles. Goes in and starts to regenerate that.
What's it called again, please?
This one's called Georgia Pine Gum Spirits, Turpentine. I'm reading this because this is a family-owned business that has been running since way back in the day down in Georgia. Georgia Pine. And they have this in soap also. So you can put this in and you have this in soap. And I'm telling you, this stuff really works, y'all. This really works.
What else are you drinking?
Am I drinking? No, you ain't drinking this.
Yeah, I'm drinking that.
Don't drink this. No. This goes on the muscles. Don't drink it. Or the knees, things like that. Don't drink it. Please don't drink it. Yeah.
Dr. Paul?
Yeah.
Can we get that at Pollock Herbs?
Yes, Pollock is the one that has it. He has the relationship with the owner. Now, my point is, just like I was just saying, that they're family-owned businesses that have been running for, long time. Some of them up to almost 100 years, y'all. So they really are keeping that thing tight. So that's one that reminds me. And Pollock gets a lot of that stuff, man. He gets a lot of stuff based on relationships. Just shows you how long Mr. Pollock's been around on Broad Street. I call him the remnant. I said, Mr. Pollock, you are the remnant, man. God is protecting you because you are the remnant that helping people get well because your relationships with the people around the world is what saves people's lives. You're making he's making it available for people to get these herbs and things. He is to be really, really celebrated, as one of the long-term. And also Shakir, too. Brother Shakir over at Wayne Avenue, he been doing it for about 35 himself. Y'all don't realize he been doing it for about 35. So Brother Shakir, Wayne Avenue Health Food, I'm telling you, these are remnants in our communities. And this is where the herbal stores really, they're really helping people. They're really helping people and giving them the alternative when other things don't work, when pharmaceuticals don't work. You go to the herb store, right? Yeah. All right. Who do we have now? Let's see. Do we have any guys on here? We got Troy. Let's see Troy.
Put my hand up, Dr. Paul.
Yeah, but I gotta get a guy in here because I've been going through all the women. I gotta get a guy in here somewhere. Again. Let me get a guy hiding. Troy.
Hey Doc, how you doing today, sir?
Oh, we're doing well, man. How you doing?
Excellent. I can't complain. Quick question. I know last week we had touched a little bit about the colon cleanse and the parasite cleanse, and you briefly mentioned a stomach flush. What is involved in a stomach flush? Because last week I was having some serious stomach problems. I've been taking the colon cleanse you got, and I'm seeing me doing a lot better now. But I was kind of curious, what is a stomach flush?
Okay, a stomach flush. I can give it to you. I do have that one too. Prophetess, you ready?
Get your fingers ready, Prophet.
You got your.
I'm ready, and I had never heard this one before.
You never heard the stomach flush?
No,
Yes. Probably this is one of the most important ones here, stomach flush. Because many people are having a lot of, issues with the stomach and the lining of the stomach. So stomach flush starts with 1 cup or more of just the regular Crystal Geyser water. You got it? You want 1 cup of cabbage juice. And you can steep you can do the blending of the cabbage juice, but make sure it's raw cabbage juice. Got it? Number 9, organic, right? Try to get raw cabbage juice. Cabbage juice has always been good for the esophagus and digestive issues. Got it? So raw cabbage juice. Got it? One cup. Then you want to get half a cup of raw red potato juice. Got it? I don't know if I ever gave this one out. Did I ever give this
never
one
heard
out?
that.
No.
Oh man, y'all must have been asleep that day. I'm sorry. All right. So what's that? Half a cup
of raw potato juice.
Raw potato juice. I said the red potato.
Red
right.
potato.
Red potato. Right. Yep. Now, also you want a half a teaspoon of now here's where we got, and this is the herb. It's called Cascara sagrada.
Oh my!
You know what Cascara sagrada is,
Lord.
right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We got some believers
Oh, yeah.
in the house.
Spell that, Cascara. I know what it is, but I can't spell it.
CASCARA.
Yeah.
Second word, sagrada. SAGRADA. And you get it in the powder.
Yep.
You only use a small amount of this now. It's only going to have a half a teaspoon. See, some people, remember, this is the push. Remember, there's male, female.
Yes.
Male is go, female is stop.
It will really push.
And then it's going to really push. That's the one that pushes the whole concept. That's the one that draws it and makes it move. And guess what else is going to be in there? Half a teaspoon of comfrey powder. Who is that gave me the comfrey powder? They had the comfrey powder. Was that I don't forget who.
That's a half a teaspoon?
Half a teaspoon of comfrey powder. This is a serious formula right here, by the way. Also, 1 teaspoon of horseradish root powder. Horseradish root powder. And then we're going to do a very small very small pinch. We say a pinch of cayenne pepper. Mix that all together. That's a stomach flush right there.
The last one, that was what?
A pinch.
Okay.
Of cayenne pepper.
Okay. Gotcha.
Dr. Paul, if you have the Cascara
Cascara
pill,
sagrada.
can you just open one up and dump it?
Yep, there you go. Yep, that's it. You're doing just a half a teaspoon, right?
Yeah.
That's all. So that's Troy. That's a good combination. Thanks for asking that, man. Apparently, I have never given that before.
No. Dr. Paul, also somebody asked me last week, I think it's the liver flush that you have. Let me go back and look. I think it's a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And they were asking me, wasn't that too much? And I meant to check.
No. It was a pinch. It's always a pinch with the cayenne. Always a pinch. Yeah,
Okay,
a pinch is usually, if you ever see anything with a pinch, it's usually they usually recognize it as 1/8. Whenever you see 1/8 anywhere.
I got 1 tablespoon for the kidney flush. 1 teaspoon for kidney flush.
1 for kidney flush, 1 teaspoon. No. It's actually a pinch. It's always the women for. You mean cayenne? You said
cayenne pepper.
No, it's always going to be a pinch. It's always going to be a pinch because cayenne has that energy. It's very, very powerful. Everything turns it to nitric oxide.
Okay.
Because it's going to dilate. It's going to dilate things and allows you to heat up so it can get it right into the system. Got it?
Okay. I believe the gentleman who asked me is here tonight on. So and I'm changing the formula as well.
Okay. So y'all got that stomach flush, right?
Yeah.
All right. So that's sometimes you got to reset the gut, the digestive tract. And the stomach starts with that. You can reset that. So we had the liver flush, we had the kidney flush, stomach flush, and then we had a spleen flush. Okay, spleen flush. We did do that one, right?
No,
Say we did that. You
we did
serious?
very, very
That one?
way back when.
All right, y'all want that one too? All right, we'll go with that one. All right. All right. When you do the spleen, first of all, what's the spleen? Hmm.
That thing in the middle of your chest, but I don't know why it's there.
Okay, spleen.
Cleanses the blood.
It's the overflow reservoir of toxins.
Yes.
Write that down. Write that down. So you got a spleen. What else is there? There's other reservoirs too. Anybody else know what the other ones are?
Mm-mm.
What is?
Is it lymphatic lymph nodes?
Well, they are part of the lymphatic system. Yes, the spleen is part of that. That's the overflow of toxins. So there's another one called the appendix.
Appendix. Oh, and nobody's never known what that was for. They take it out and they have no problem with it.
Yeah, like you're not gonna need this.
Yes.
Throw it away.
Right. They
No.
just toss it.
No.
And
That's
and
your
Dr.
reservoir for overflow of toxin. That's why when people are having, they say their appendix burst or something. It's
Yes,
overflowing.
that's why it's gonna
Toxin.
kill you.
That's why it's part of that. So now the upper part is your tonsils. That's other part of your reservoir of overflowing of toxins is your tonsils. Wow. So that's when you go to you ever been to a doctor and they say, oh, they take that little popsicle stick and say, open your mouth and say, not all right at the same time, right? Okay.
Dr. Paul, what is before the cabbage, please?
What is before
What
the
is
cabbage?
before the cabbage? Yes, for the stomach flesh.
It's in the chat box.
Yes, right in the chat box, but that would be 1 cup of water.
Thank you.
Sometimes,
Crystallizer.
sometimes you may have to add a little bit more, water. Don't be afraid to be, if it's a little bit strong for you, add more water. Got it? Always add more water. Got it?
Okay, bottled water.
Can I
Bottled water.
Dr. Paul, I have a question. Once you do this stomach flush, it sounds like you're gonna have diarrhea.
No, no.
You got that sakara, you got the horseradish. Once you drink it, what effects will you have?
It's gonna flush you now, but not diarrhea. You know what diarrhea? You gotta understand what diarrhea really is, right? Remember, diarrhea is when the body believes that there's a foreign invader in the intestines, send extra water to flush them out. That's when the stool gets watery. You got it? Doesn't that make sense? Ooh, ain't this body something? This body is awesome.
Best thing we got going
It
for
is awesome. There's a foreign invader.
Something else, because when I'm done,
Send extra water to flush it out.
Yes.
That's awesome. That is awesome. You didn't have to say a word.
That's
You didn't have
right.
to do nothing. The body already does it on its own. So that's exactly what this is. A marvelous and wonderful system, y'all. It has an intelligence of itself. You don't have to come up with those protein spike indicators and stuff to let your body get a heads up when it's something to make your body do something else.
That's exactly right.
It is.
Dr. Paul, I have a question.
It's crazy. All right, so I just want to make sure we go over that spleen flush, okay? I'm going to do the spleen flush because the spleen flush, usually the spleen is it's actually situated somewhere on the outside around the area of the upper part, actually the upper left corner of the stomach area.
Yes,
Got it?
yes.
So what you're doing is you're cleansing the spleen because that's actually reservoir of toxins building up. So where's the other part? I said there was what? What was the other one?
Kidney.
You got
Appendix.
the appendix,
And
right?
the tonsils.
In the tonsils, right? So here's the perfect concept of this, right? When you eating food, and you're chewing something, right? Now, if it's got some bad bacteria, you just ate something by mistake, right? And you swallow it, the body says, I'm gonna give you two. One on the left side, one on the right side. So if I can't get it on the left side because you chewing on the other side, I'm gonna catch it on the other side. And that's why, ain't that awesome? Woo!
Wow.
That's awesome, man.
Paul, is that why you
That
get
is
tonsil
awesome.
stones?
And that's why when they swell, that means that caught poison that potentially could have got into your body and probably could have killed you.
Amen.
So you rather have them swell. When they swell up like this, that's why when he's coming in, and they tell you to open them up and say, they're trying to see if you've been infected by some kind of bacteria or some kind of virus or something. So your body's protecting you at all times.
Yes.
You got it?
Dr.
Is
Paul.
that also
What when they
Okay.
when they remove
Okay. Mute yourself. Mute yourself one at a time. What was the question?
I had that when I was like 3 or 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my parents had to stay up all night just to keep an eye on me.
Right. So what we really need is a spleen or of a detox of those reservoirs. You got me? So that's an organ flush. So, but a lot of people we've never been taught these things, but that's what it is. So what do we do? Let's cut it out. Let's cut it out. Now you cut it out. You cut it out. I'm echoing somewhere. You cut it out. Now you got your appendix removed. You got your tonsils removed. Wait a minute. The tonsils were supposed to do what? They were supposed to do what? They're protecting your upper body.
Yes.
Right.
Now they're not there no more. Now you're susceptible to what? Bacteria infections. You got me? Throat, strep throats, things like that. Issues with larynx problems, that can cause inflammation in the system. So you got to really keep yourself clear up here, Herb. Got it? If that you got them removed when you were young?
No, just that one of my parents stayed up all night, and they told me this. They said the next morning I was okay.
Right, you detoxed. You flushed it out. So if you had your tonsils removed, then that's something that they needed to be detoxed. See, they're holding it. That's like a reservoir overflowing. That's like the levees holding in your body of the poison. They're holding what could have got inside of you and causing an infection. And could potentially kill you.
Yeah, but that's kind of weird because we never knew anything about it.
I know, exactly. Yeah. Never been explained to you what they do. So that's why they say, just throw it away.
That's right. That's what we don't need it anyway.
Right. That's the overflow of toxins. So now you got the appendix now. Same thing, lower area. Where's the appendix? Right around the area of the stomach, right? Lower area. And when people say, wow, boy, they just got you to the hospital in time. You almost had your appendix bust. And they know that that's fatal because what? There's so much poison in there that if it ruptures, it could cause death.
Yes.
You got me? Ain't God good? Woo!
Man,
Dr. Paul, I have a question.
Okay, who is that?
Dolores.
Hey, Dolores. K51, Dolores. How you doing?
I'm all right.
All
Dr.
right.
Paul, can you give us any information on these variants that they're speaking to us about? Because, with me not taking the vaccination, they're talking about the difference in the variants, that some variants can cause you to lose your eyesight or all of this. So I don't know what to think.
Hey, I'm going to tell you now, like I've always said on this platform and all the platforms I sit on, you have to build your immune system.
Yes.
You got it? That's the only thing you can bank on. And that these variants are going to mutate. That's what they do. It is a life. It is alive. And it's trying to procreate and survive just like anything else in nature. it's going to try to procreate. So it's going to be a different variant. That's why they have to have a flu shot every year. Prior to the coronavirus, is a flu shot every year. And it's never the same one. That's because they know that it's going to be something else, always something else. It's always moving.
Yep.
It's always regenerating. It's always trying to come up with a defense mechanism for what you have. And what we are receiving now with the vaccine has everything to do with the variants that were based on 9 months ago.
Yes. Huh? Is that crazy or what?
Thank you, Dr. Paul.
You got it? Build
Yes.
your immune system. Stay with the stuff that we're talking about. Keeping that, the spleen clean, the stomach, the kidneys, the liver, keeping these flushes. I didn't give the spleen flush, did I? This one's actually kind of easy. I would use, and then now in this they recommend the carrot, but of course we know that's not the orange carrot. That's the purple carrot. Try to, if you can't get that one, try to do the best you can. You got it? But it's 1 cup of carrot juice. Okay? 1 cup of carrot juice, and I'm going to tell you, try to do the purple carrot. You can go to places like Whole Foods, you can go to Trader Joe's, you can go to Weaver's Way Co-op, or if there's a co-op in your area, look for the purple carrot. You can plant your own purple carrots right here, y'all. Y'all know that? Did y'all know you can get the non-GMO purple carrot? I bought some seeds the other day.
Yeah, Dr. Paul, you said you was gonna get us the moringa seeds also. Did you get the moringa seeds?
I didn't say I was gonna do that. Who said that? That must have been another Dr. Paul, not me. I'm trying to get me some moringa seeds. I said I'm gonna plant my moringa seeds. I got 3 seeds that somebody gave me. I think Miss Carolyn. Where Carolyn at? Carolyn gave me some seeds, and I've been keeping them like this for a while. And I'm gonna plant that. I'm gonna plant my moringa, and I'm gonna see what happens. Usually it grows anywhere and everywhere. There she is. There she. I knew she was gonna pop up. She said, "That's me. That's me." Carolyn, when you planted, Carolyn, can you hear me?
She's there.
She's there, but
her camera's.
Hey, did you plant your moringa?
I haven't planted them yet because it's still a little cold outside. But once it gets warm, I peel it off, put the white seed in, water it, and say a prayer.
Okay. Have you had any success?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Because if you had one from last year, you bring it inside, you leave it in the basement, and then you take it back outside about May or June. Yes.
Excellent, excellent. So when you did that, did you nurse it first, or you went straight to the ground? Did you nurse it in like a pot?
I just peeled the outer part of the seed off, and I stuck it in the dirt. I watered it, and I just kept it moving.
So you didn't even do no nursing. You said, "Buddy, we going straight."
We're going straight in.
Okay. Now you know what I would recommend. You know what really will help your plants, and this is for everyone. If you are planting your garden right now, one of the best things that you can do, there's 2 things that I recommend that you can put, or actually 3, that you can put to help your plant grow faster, and you'll have the biggest and best looking garden you ever had. How about that? I'm going to tell you how to do it. Get you some good soil. Make sure it's not the Scott soil. Because you remember Scott soil was actually sold out by Monsanto. That's Monsanto's project now. So stay away from Scott soil. Got anything that says Scott's. That's the one that's not the organic soils no more. They're modifying the soils. So you want a good soil. That's organic soil. When you put your plants in, just like Carolyn said, you seed them to the ground or nurse them, whatever way you want to do them.
Okay.
Or if you nurse them, because sometimes some people will nurse them in pots first, and then they go to the ground. I want you to put, here's one, magnesium Epsom salts to the roots. So what you would do is you would have some melted Epsom salts water, put it right into the soil. It actually makes the plant more green. That's going to make it give its. You ever see a plant when it starts to fade, and as it goes up, it starts to lose color on the bottom? Well, it's losing its magnesium. That's what's happening. It's dying. So it's almost saying, I got to survive. Let's survive. So we'll send the energy to the younglings up. So it's trying to push up the energy up. Isn't that deep? So now around the bottom, it's all brown around the edges. That's because it's losing magnesium. So the way you bring the magnesium back is you would take some Epsom salts. That would be, you can, just stir it in some water. You can get a big old jug or maybe a gallon of it. And you could take about 3 or 4 tablespoons, put it in the water, stir it up, put it right around that plant. That plant's going to come right on back.
All right. That's what's up.
And not only that, but the plant's going to grow faster. Okay. Now, the other one, there's 2 other ones I want to recommend. And that would be, the other one would be fulvic acid and the humic acid. You remember we talked about the fulvic and the humic. Both of those would be excellent for your plant. They're going to make it grow like crazy. And that's what they use. Remember, that was part of the volcanoes that went off. And as they start to dry, you put a little of that fulvic acid right around that plant. That plant's going to say, thank you. Glory. Glory. You're a good human.
Wow. Are you saying around the plant or in the soil?
In the soil around the plant. That's right. In the soil around the plant. That plant's going to need that, and it's going to really enrich the soil. It's going to enrich the soil that much better. So now the plant's going to yield a better harvest. You're going to have, you may grow some big fruit or vegetables. You may grow some real big ones. You'd be very, very surprised. You're putting a lot of energy into that soil.
Is that good for regular plants too?
That goes for any plants. That's correct. That includes you.
I have no regular, thank you.
Wow.
You got it. You got it. So you get a plant some, and then you take some. You can talk to the plant while you're doing it.
That's right.
My wife always laughs at me.
Much happier plant.
My wife always laughs at me when we have the plants around, and I'm just talking. She said, "Who you talking to?" I'm talking to the plant. You in my conversation. Talking to my plants, and then she wondered why. I go over and say, "How you doing?" I'm breathing. See, I'm breathing. They're receiving what? They receive what? The carbon dioxide and flip it to oxygen. So
there you
they're
go.
giving us oxygen while they're, we're taking in their oxygen as we're giving them the carbon dioxide. It's a give and take. Isn't that awesome?
How you doing?
Dr. Paul, can you answer this question for me real quick before you leave for the night?
Is that Penda?
Yes.
What's up, Penda? How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
All right.
The colon cleanse, I bought the colon cleanse and the eliminator, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to take it. I know I'm supposed to do it with the green drink, but do I take a rest in between them?
Well, you can go. Yeah, you start with the colon cleanse and finish it to the end of the bottle. That's what you do. And then you can go immediately directly into the parasite cleanse with the same method, same way you did you took the colon.
It's in the chat box for her.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Penda, congratulations. You got married, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Congratulations, girl. Let's get her a shout. She got married.
Hey.
Congratulations. You think somebody ain't know, did you? See there? See what happened when you jump on here? All right.
I feel special. Thank you.
All right. Take care now. Take care.
The spleen.
Oh, is that what I was supposed to be doing? I got distracted. Okay. All right. One cup of what?
Purple carrots.
Red carrot. Purple carrot.
Purple carrot.
Right?
1 cup
Get you
of
some purple carrot. And then the next one would be 1 cup of celery juice. Got it? a quarter cup of parsley juice. Woo, parsley is no joke, y'all. Let
Yes,
me
yes,
tell you.
yes.
Yeah, I messed up with parsley one time. I put it all over salad. Shouldn't have did that one.
Well, the Lord,
I was running for a whole week.
I know that's right. Mhm.
You got digestive problems, you better take some parsley. It'll get it moving. All right, 1 teaspoon of lecithin. You remember the lecithin I talked about on the other ones? The lecithin was also part of the liver flush. So
Right,
you're
right,
doing the
right.
same thing. You're doing a cup of parsley juice. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one is, and this is maybe a little hard to get, but we try to get it, a 1 teaspoon of sunflower oil. Sunflower oil. Unrefined. Got it? Unrefined. Got it? Alrighty. That's it. Did everybody get that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
how
sir.
do you spell that name again?
Lecithin.
Lecithin?
Lecithin.
Lecithin.
Lecithin. That's good for the digestive system. It moves stuff. That's why you see it in a lot of the cleanses. If it was like a colon cleanse or something, it moves the digestive system very well.
There you go.
Can I get a question in?
Sure. Last question. Go ahead.
Yes. Hi, how you doing?
Yes, last
We gotta go.
Okay.
We gotta
Yeah.
go.
Okay, so can y'all hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Yes.
Okay, hi. I recently had a hip replacement in January, and I'm a medical practitioner, so I know the difference between retaining fluid and lymphatic. I'm having some lymphedema, and it's not resolving. It's also transferring into the other leg. So instead of I'm doing a lot of things. I'm doing the water. I'm not eating dairy. I've cut back on almost all the meats. I'm just, and it will not rectify. It will not. It just won't. It'll go down, and then it'll come back.
Right. So there's a couple of things. Definitely, I would say come on in and get a exam that we do.
I'm already coming. I'm already got an appointment in June, all the way at the end of June. I was like, oh my God, I gotta wait this long.
Yeah.
But
So here's
yes,
what. Let me explain to you what's going on. See, whenever you got to watch when you're saying that you think that it's not the lymphatic. It's the lymphatic system.
No, it is the lymph. I know I have lymphedema. I know for a fact that I have lymphedema. Yeah.
Right. So
I have the pitting edema and everything.
Okay. So remember, what moves the lymphatic system? Remember, it doesn't have a pump. It's a secondary circulatory system.
Right.
So it doesn't have a pump. The only pump has is muscles that overlap and they twitch, but they only move when you move.
Yes.
Got it? So there could be infections in the lymphatic system also, which cause blockage. So you have 3 pairs of nodes. Under the arm, under the neck is cervical.
Right.
Armpits is auxiliary, and the groin is inguinal. So in this case, you would start to do what's called a lymphatic massage would help.
Right.
But also if you have swelling in the legs, knees, anywhere in the lower extremities, you got to start looking at your kidneys. Got it? That's the kidneys. So that means you got to stay off of refined sugar, refined salt, refined oils, but also you got to watch concentration, concentrated foods. What is concentrated foods? Things that dehydrate the system. When you said water, what kind of water are you drinking?
I'm doing, as a matter of fact, I'm doing the Kangen water now, and I'm doing the Crystal Geyser.
I would leave the Kangen water alone. I would go strictly to the Crystal Geyser. Remember, Kangen actually it's using platinum. Got it? It uses platinum plates. Not saying it's bad, but in this case right now, you don't want to charge water with platinum plates when you have a blockage issue. Okay. You want to use natural minerals. You got me? Y'all follow me on this one. Got me?
Yes.
So what you're trying to do is stimulate the system to move. So that means you're going to have to start to move what's called the endothelia also, or not the endothelia, but the pseudomotor. The pseudomotor is what drives that. That means your sweat glands are possibly shutting down also.
Yes.
Got it? So you got to start to move. Are you sweating?
I'm sweating a little bit. I've never been a big sweater. I have
See
been,
there?
I
Yep.
have been dry brushing, and I've never, I am set up for a lymphatic massage on the 25th of April.
Right.
I had one right after surgery, around 3 to 4 weeks after surgery. And what happened was was moving around. I had the physical therapy. I had everything to the house, and then I went and I outsourced my physical therapy. So what happened was I went back to work. Okay, around 5 weeks ago, which is a mainly sitting job. I'm a medical practitioner, but I see my patients. I get up, I do some, therapy on them or whatever. But I then have to. I'm mainly sitting down. So I do my compression stockings. They don't seem to be helping. And I find that I'm not moving.
I got you. Yeah. But see, you're still experiencing the same problem.
Yes, I am.
It's blockage. So that means that here's how you get it moving now. Things that move the lymphatic system, because there could very much be an infection in that line somewhere. Got it?
Yes.
That's usually what happens. Remember what the lymphatic system also does. It's the way the body naturally purges out. It's the sewer system of the body. So bacteria is there, virus, fungus, parasites, cancer. That's the way the body gets rid of it naturally. Got it? That's the way it gets rid of it. But see, people take it for granted and not understanding that you can get an infection in one of your nodes or one of the veins. So what happens is you get the infection. So here's what we use. You got to, number one, start to make sure you stay off the concentrated foods, right? We talked about that. But also you got to make sure you are sweating. So that means when you do exercise, you got to do that exercise. And here, trust me, y'all, you got to do it at the same time every day. You got to establish a circadian rhythm. The circadian rhythm means that if it's 8, 9, 10 o'clock, you got to do it at that same time every day, because you're trying to get it to move. You got to get that system to move, and you must sweat. Got it? So when you do that with the consistencies, sooner or later, you're going to move. Got it? Also, watch underarm deodorants, right? That no aluminum, right? No aluminum deodorants, right?
I use a holistic organic deodorant. I don't use any aluminums under my arms.
There you go.
What about aquatics too, Dr. Paul?
I would not recommend aquatics right now. I think you need to get on a bike and start moving. Yep.
Yes.
Also, that's what we work on. The rebounders, which is the mini trampolines, things like that. Those are the things that get it moving. You got to get the system moving. See, that's what's happening. So here's what I recommend. We say not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease, just food for the soul. Because it does sound like there could possibly, I'm just saying, just taking in perspective what you're telling me. You got to make sure there's no infections in the line. So golden seal root would be in order.
Okay.
Golden seal root.
Golden seal root.
Right, which means that's a natural antibiotic. Not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease, just food for the soul, as we say. We got to keep saying that. It's just to make sure there's no infection in the line. Got it?
Okay.
It is taken always. Remember, it's 2 weeks on. You cannot take it for long periods of time because, of course, your body builds the antibodies. So it becomes nullified if you keep taking it for a long period of time. So it's 2 weeks on. Here's the protocol. 2 weeks on, 1 week off, 2 weeks back on, and then you quit it for a whole month. That's a golden seal cleanse. That's golden seal cleanse. That's to clean out the system. Got it?
All right.
Now, with that, okay, follow me now. With that, we take this dandelion root. Okay, let me tell you what dandelion is going to do for the situation. Dandelion is very critical because dandelion does something that even if they pull the water off of your legs, it's going to make your legs very weak because there's a lot of nutrients in that leg with all that water. It's just more excess water, more space between the cells. So now when you take something like the dandelion gets the kidneys pumping again, cleans the liver, and now draws the water off of the legs, and at the same time replaces the potassium that you're losing when the water goes down. So that's what we used along with the golden seal. It would be the dandelion root. Okay.
And I take them together.
You got it.
Okay.
That's what those are the two that we use. And that helps to bring down the water. But I'm going to stress it, very highly stress it. You got to get the pseudomotor going. See, the pseudomotor, when you don't have the pseudomotor moving and you back up, the body's going to say, well, I got to do something with this. I can't move it nowhere. It's going to end up dumping it in your blood. Then you're going to have an autoimmune issue. Autoimmune deficiency now going to cause things like, everything from, you can have so many different types of autoimmune issues, from lupus, leukemia, fibromyalgia, sarcoidosis, all of those, because the body can't get rid of the poison. You're backing up. So you got to sweat. Okay. And I would say, usually,
and how long should I ride the bike? I ride it for 2 to 3 times a week for 25 minutes. Because I'm just 3 months out from the hip replacement. So I'm just, I'm moving. Is that enough, or do I need to do more?
No, you need to go as, you need to take it as, hold up. Somebody's phone. So you need to go as much as your body will allow you. Got it? See, the key is what? Remember what the key is, right? The
sweating.
Key is sweating. You got to sweat. So do what you can. Try to do at least 20 minutes a day if you can.
Right.
Got it?
Yes.
Yeah. So, but there's a lot of inflammation there. I would get that water and half your body weight in ounces in water and just keep it moving. Try to do it the same time every day.
Okay. I'm a morning person. Okay, so I'll definitely do that. Okay, I'm looking forward to meeting you.
All right.
In June. Thank you.
Same here. Good. Best of wishes to you. Okay.
Yes.
All
yes.
right.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Big B, we gotta go.
Yes.
What you got up there? Forced vaccinations. What's that say? What does it say?
How to survive forced vaccination. It's a must read.
Okay. All right. Who's where can we get it? Where can you get it?
Paul's Herb, because I think he has the one, Health Benefits of Wild Oregano Oil by Dr. Cass Ingrams. He does the same thing about how to survive.
That's from Cass. Yeah, that's Cass. I had Cass on the show.
From the introduction, just the introduction alone, oh my God.
Then Cass is raw. He came on my show. You remember when he was born before?
Yes.
Crazy?
About a month ago.
Cass, Cass is banned from everywhere. He can't go nowhere. Man, I said, Cass, you gotta slow it up a little bit, man. He's like, yeah, I know, man. But so don't worry about it. That's all right. See, you gotta understand. He even have an ear, let him hear. You got it? That's what you gotta realize. Some people, no matter, even if they know, they're still gonna make the choices they're gonna make. It's between you and God, you know? So don't get too deep into it. Just do what you gotta do. If that's your conviction, understand it's already, you already know it deep inside, something don't feel right. And, we've been talking about this thing for a long time. And then, here they are pulling all these vaccines now. Just after this weekend, they had here in North Philadelphia, one of the camps were right here in the middle of North Philly giving out the J&J vaccine. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. It's a logistical nightmare going on right now. And don't get caught up in it. What is it? Go and build your immune system. Don't get into the diabolicalness. That's the best thing you can do. I got one more person. I got to get my man Cliff on there. Cliff, I see you up there, man. I'm going to get Cliff, and Bill, we're going to end after Cliff. All right.
Go, Cliff.
What's up, Cliff? You got to unmute yourself.
Here I am. Sorry about that, Doc.
Okay. What's up, man?
Listen, I wanted to ask, what causes people to have seizures?
Well, it could be a lot of different things going on with seizures. You got to make sure there's, number one, those structural issues, which is spinal misalignments. Usually in the cervical, I would definitely check the cervical And then number two, you would have to give them to, there's hormonal issues that can go on with seizures. There's some neurological things that can go
Yeah,
along with seizures. There's a lot that can go with seizures, you
it's a
know.
myriad of things. Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
myriad of things that you have to sort of do like a detective work.
Gotcha.
Some are structural issues with the cervical spine where there may be nerves punching, and then
Yeah.
there's not getting enough nutrients to the parts of the brain. Some may have been induced by things like chemicals, medications, you know, throwing off the hormone. There's a lot of different things that, you know, that it could be. But I would say start with the structural. That's what we do. There's one herb that we use. There's a combination of things that you can use. There's one combination of herbs that I tell folks to use. It's called Mind Care. Mind Care. Mind Care by a company called Himalaya.
Okay.
Called Mind Care. It has a lot of the herbs that deal with for mind focus, concentration. If you're someone that deals with a lot of numbers, just trying to deal with the stresses of the world and all that, it has these herbs like bacopa, gotu kola. Yep, it's got a lot of good stuff, and it's a long list of herbs that even lion's mane, I believe, is in there. So it's a lot of good stuff that calms and balances if there's a chemical, because a lot of times, believe it or not, you know, that can also be caused by chemical imbalance.
Gotcha.
You got it? So
Okay.
so usually we kind of take it from backing up to the principles, the fundamental principles, making sure that they're hydrated, because a lot of people that have that are seriously dehydrated, number one.
Gotcha.
And if there was any amino acid I would use, it was not to diagnose, treat, kill, prevent any disease, just food for the soul, it would be tyrosine. 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 L-tyrosine. Yep. Those are good for brain activity. That's for things when you're dealing with things like Tourette's syndrome. You ever heard of Tourette's? Somebody just blurt out stuff or you know, just like that.
How do you spell that?
Tourette's or tyrosine?
Tyrosine.
Tyrosine. Tyrosine.
Tyrons.
INE. Tyrosine. L-tyrosine.
All right. Thank you, man. I appreciate you so much.
All right, Cliff, my man, pulling up the anchor, brother. I appreciate you, man. All right, family. It is time to go. Oh, it's too late, Bill. Why don't you tell me it's 9:20, man?
I've been doing this for the last hour and a half. You were just blind.
I'm just rolling, man. And nobody else said anything. I didn't even realize what time it was.
Might as well go until midnight.
Y'all just rolling, man. I didn't even look at the clock. Whoa.
Yeah, I had my hands up here doing all this kind of stuff.
I thought you was dancing over there. Farting flies, man. I didn't know what you was doing.
I'm gonna put it on Lydia. Lydia kept saying, no.
And I still have one more.
All right, we'll save it for next week. Save it for next week. All right, family. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was the Family Tree, and you used to say the Family Tree Hour, but it's more than an hour nowadays. So we want to thank everyone for chiming in and for all the questions. Remember, there is no dumb question. Only question that was dumb was the one that wasn't asked, right? If you want to get more information, Bill, tell us how they can, we're going to sign out with you and how they can also get a transcript of what we talked about today.
As always, guys, and Prophet has already put the information there. If you want to get copies of tonight's chat, make sure you send an email to meccavideo@gmail.com. That's meccavideo@gmail.com. All right, and where you make sure you get all this information. Also, as just as a courtesy for us, guys, we don't ask you to do anything to sort of help us with this whole thing, but we also just to donate and make sure that we continue to put this information back into you. We put it, whatever you give to us, we put right back into the whole process for getting the production done and the chats done done and all that kind of stuff. So just share your donation to Dr. Paul's Cash App, which is the $ capital DR, capital PAUL, capital HOP. Okay, and just make sure you get that out. And let me tell you something, it gets better each and every week. You see, look, the numbers are getting higher and higher each week. The tree is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I love it like that. Okay,
the tree is getting bigger. I like that one, B.
That's right, buddy. It makes it work. And
all right.
And listen, make sure we encourage. And let's say we'll get this information done as soon as we can, either tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. Dr. Paul will send me the link, and we'll get it out and try and get as much information out to you as early as maybe late tomorrow, if not.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I just want to say one last word. You know, this is a show that we just use all the proceeds. If you're donating, if you want to say, some people say, well, I just want to, share a donation and gift. It's not going to me. It's not going to anything other than the production to keep this thing moving. So Bill has the arduous task of actually putting all of this stuff on multimedia, first editing it down and doing all those things. So let's give Big B a hand for all that he's doing on that side. So that's where all the proceeds go to. It doesn't go to me. We just send it over, and we do it for the time and effort that he has to do all of these things. And we do greatly appreciate you, Big B. All right?
I know.
So family, I want to say, continue to be on task and on point, ask questions, invite someone back next week. Invite somebody back next week.
That's right.
And just say, hey, we got to start talking about this health thing, because you never know, when it comes down to you getting sick, you don't want to get in these hospitals. How about that?
That's
so I want to say to everyone, I pray everyone is doing well. Keep healthy. Reach out to your family and friends. Make sure everybody stays close, right?
That's right.
Your herbs, and remember, be encouraged, because if you're breathing, you got a shot.
God bless everybody.
Thank you. Hope alive.
I heard that, Prophet.
God bless y'all. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week. God bless y'all.
God bless you, Dr. Paul.
Yes.
Come on, dance, y'all. Let's see you dance. Let's see everybody dance. Come on now. If you can't dance to this, you better check your pulse.
I know that right. Look out, Cliff. Don't break that.
Nice,
hey. There you go. I see y'all. We got Jewel over there. We got Dorma. Hey, Ardita. Karen, what's going on? Antoinette. Go ahead, Lydia. Go ahead, Kamara. Go ahead, Cindy. All right. If you can't be happy and laughing, what you doing?
I know that's right.
All right, snap. Look at Cliff. Cliff just jumped out his seat. Y'all can jump out of your seat if you want to. There you go. There go Ron. What's up, Ron? Come on, snap. There you go. What's up, Dean? I see you. All right. There you go. Go all that good energy. See all that good energy? Hey. This song right here is called Coop by a group. Yes, it's called Summer Sun. And I can't wait till that summer sun get here. All right, y'all.